Hey everybody, Tim here with today's episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 2, Episode 2, Where Silence Has Lease. This was rough. This was a bad episode. Season 2, so like I said, Season 1 was pretty rough. And Season 2, to be honest with you, like I love The Next Generation, but Season 2 definitely has some rough moments, and it kind of takes a while to really get that pacing going where we want it to be. And this episode, it felt very much like a classic episode. The crew basically gets sucked into like this black blob, and they're stuck in there, and it doesn't matter what they do, they're just stuck in there. And this entity, it's like Nagilum, I think is how they say. It's he's played by Earl Bowen, the shrink from the Terminator movies. Like this weird face pops up and he's just kind of talking to him, and he kills one crew member just to see what would happen. It's almost like he's supposed to be Q-like, but just it kind of fails. And yeah, the whole episode, it's pretty rough. There's a couple of interesting things. We see Riker and Worf doing some Klingon training in the holodeck, so we're starting to get more into that Klingon culture that I was talking about during season 1. There's some interesting 3D aspects that Wesley brings up, like if it's a hole or if it's a blob in space, they should be able to go around it, but they can't. It's just like a hole, so it's kind of weird. Which Star Trek kind of gets, I wouldn't say criticism, but it gets a lot of flack for the fact that like ships always meet like perfectly aligned, and I mean it's space. It's 3D. It's difficult to comprehend. Which is like Wrath of Khan did a really good job talking about that, how they drop down to go below Khan, and Khan doesn't even think about it. Once again, we see the auto-destruct, and it only takes 2 people, but it's interesting because it's Picard and Riker again, but they also put a time limit on it. They say, we want to self-destruct, but in 20 minutes. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And then finally, the thing that I liked the most about this episode is Data and Picard are having a conversation, and Data says, "What is death?" And Picard is like, well, some people view death as like just going out, like a wink, and some people view it as going to paradise. And they just kind of bounce these different ideas. We see a very, very similar conversation again in the movie Generations, where they say, like, what is time and what is death, and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really interesting first aspect of this conversation. I thought that was really well done. And once again, like, Pulaski just keeps talking down to Data. Like, I realize that's kind of her character personality, but I really don't. Maybe it's just me being protective of Data, but I just hate how she talks down to him all the time. So, like I said, this episode was pretty rough for me. If you guys have seen it, go ahead, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time for Elementary, Dear Data.